so people can see it for later. So just so you know. Um, okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Did you guys print out the worksheet that I sent you that was attached to the email?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So basically what we're doing here today is we're going through our economic model, the MREA. And I took a class a couple weeks ago and I went through this and I thought, you know, this is one thing that I really need to share with you guys because it really kind of lays it out. I know that at different times we have talked about, like when you've sat here in my office and we set your goals for 2020. And of course, a lot of those have flown out the window because of our current circumstances. So I just we're going to work on generically setting some goals and working through this worksheet. And then you can plug in your own numbers. So the numbers that we're going to use today are totally hypothetical, the easy numbers to work with. So you have your paper and your worksheet and your pencil and your calculator handy because I'm going to ask you to do the math right along with me. And I will do the math with you as well. So the first thing I want you to do is, okay, so we know that in the perfect world, we have just as many buyers as we do sellers, or listings and buyers. We have, it's a 50-50, that's the perfect world. But today we're going to use the 60-40, so 60% listings and 40% buying side. I'm going to do that because when we're in MAPS coaching, that's what, why isn't that, oh, darn it, that page isn't moving. There we go. There we go. All right. So for the first line, I want you to put in, for a net income, go ahead and write in $250,000. So, okay, so that's net income. That's the net income that you want to end up with at the end of the year. Okay, so now with that being said, we're going to figure out, I want you to then go to, we're going to figure out how much your gross income, your gross commission needs to be in order for you to net the $250,000. So right there, you're going to put the $250,000, and then I want you to take $250,000 and divide it by 40%. And I know I gave you the answer, but what do you come up with?
$100,000.
100,000. So divide it. 250 divided by 40%. So what do you get? What do you come up with?
625,000.
Awesome. Very good. So that 625 you're going to put down there in line A. And then if you want to do the math a little bit backwards just to verify, you can pick that $625,000 times 40% and you get $250,000. So that's how you can work your math a little backwards there. Okay, so now in line A, you have your $625,000. Then if you multiply that by 30%, because your income or your expenses and your cost of sales, neither one should be more than 30% of your net income. So you can calculate $625,000 times 30% for the 187.5, and you can put the 187.5 in both of those lines. Are you with me? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then here, since we talked about we're going to do 60% of our listings are sellers. So we're going to put a 60% in here. I didn't put the percent sign, but that's the percent. Okay. So then take line A, your $625,000, times line B, your 60%, and what do you come up with?
$1,041,066.
So did you do, okay, 60%. So 625 times 60% should be $375,000. Did you get the same thing? Okay. Are you still doing the math, or did you come up with the $375,000?
I don't think they can hear us.
Can you guys hear me? I see John
Yeah.
hopped in. Okay. Danae, can you hear me? Okay. So did you guys all come up with the $375,000? Okay. All right. So then we get, for today, we're going to use, and most of the time you guys get a 3% commission rate. Okay. So now, and you just kind of work this little formula here. You take that line C, that $375,000 divided by, and that's divided by 3%. And what do you come up with?
Whoa.
It's a big number.
12.5 million.
12.5 million. Yep. Okay. So what we did here at the $375,000, gross income from your sellers, that's your $375,000. Your average commission rate is 3%. So your sold volume for $375,000 gross income from sellers is $12.5 million. All right. Are you with me? Okay.
Yep.
Now then, we're going to use for our purposes, we're going to use $280,000 for your average sales price. Okay. So go ahead and you can write that in. And then you're going to divide the $12.5 million by the $280,000. What do you get?
Rounded up 45.
Yep, rounded up 45. And why do we round up?
Because if you round down, you won't hit your mark.
Well, yeah, that too, but because there's no such thing as a partial transaction. So, so 45 is your number, and you always want to round up because that's the goal, is to go bigger. So that would mean that your total listings sold would be 45. So your units closed would be 45 closed units on listings. Okay. So then for today's purposes, we'll use a conversion rate of 80%. So that means 80% of your listing contracts close. So somewhere along the line, they drop out, but so 80%. All right. So now we're going to take your 45 units closed, and we're going to divide it, the 45, and we're going to divide it by the 80%. And what do we come up with?
57.
56.5.
57, 56.25. So it rounds up to 57. Okay. And then your conversion rate signed, we're going to say is 75%. So that means the listing appointments that you're going on, you need to bring to contract 57 of those. Okay. All right. So now we're going to say your conversion rate is 75%. I'm going to take that 57 and divide by 75%. And what do we come up with for listing appointment?
$76.
76. So you need 76 listing appointments to get 57 listings contracts, and then to close those, and then the 57, you need the 57 to close 45 units. Are you with me? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So I think when you look at it, like you say, oh, I have to have 76 listing appointments. And that seems like a lot of appointments. But if you break it down over in the little box on the far right, you take your 76 listing appointments and you divide it by 52 weeks per year, you come up with 2 listing appointments per week. And so that really seems a lot more doable than a huge number of 76. Does that seem easier to you, or an easier number to deal with to you?
Hi, this is Kathy Fitzpatrick. Can you see me? I see sort of a black screen by my name, and I don't know how to click on video. Anyway, I
don't see you.
Oh, can you see me?
I cannot see you.
I don't know how I changed that, but anyway.
You should be able to click on join. This is a new format for me today, so there should be a camera. Let me see. If you go down to your black, right, you're coming on. I see your picture.
Okay. Well, I'm actually okay. I'm in the back office. I don't know how good this video thing is here.
All right. So if you just kind of drag your mouse down to the bottom of the black screen, there should be a place there for a microphone and a camera and to leave. So you should be able to see them. But I see your picture on my screen.
Okay, well, I am here. I actually got dressed up like normal because I have to go to Home Depot after a while and meet a contractor. So I'm actually looking again.
All right.
Yeah, there are days I don't want to be, so.
Sure. So, okay, so now this is our economic model. Kathy, can you see my worksheet?
Yeah, I got the worksheet. I've been listening. I got down here just minutes after 10. I've been listening.
Awesome. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the buyer side. So we're going to go and we're going to do the same, basically the same thing for the buyer side, but we're going to switch the numbers around a little bit. So if your net income, the top part is the same. I left that the same. So you still have your gross income of $625,000. Okay. And so here we're going to put 40% in as your buyers, because we use 60 on the listing side, so we're going to use 40% on the buyer side. All right. So now then we're going to take the $625,000 and multiply it by the 40%. And what do you come up with?
250.
250. All right, $250,000. Very good. Okay. Then on this side, though, we're going to change our average commission rate to 2.5%. So we're going to take $250,000 and we're going to divide that by the 2.5%. And what do you come up with?
$10 million?
10 million. Yep. 10 million. So then we're going to use our average sales price on the buyer side today. We're going to use $245,000. So take that 10 million and divide it by $245,000. And what do you come up with?
41.
41. Yep. All right. And then your conversion rate of sold. So that's your 41 units closed, buyer's contracts. So then your conversion rate from getting the contract to getting it sold is 75%. Okay. So then take the 41 and divide it by the 75. 75%. What do you get?
55.
55.
55. All right. And then your buyers, and that's your contract signed. And then out of your appointments, your conversion rate is 80% when you're talking to your buyers. So if you take your 55 and divide it by 80%, what do you get?
69.
69. All right. So here we are. So that's 69 buyer appointments that you need to go on to get 55 contracts and then to get 41 to close. All right. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So now then, if you have 69 buyer appointments and you have 52 weeks a year, then how many appointments is that per week? So 1 1/3 appointments per week. So 2 appointments per week, right? So you take your 69 appointments divided by 52 weeks per year, and you get your 1.33 or your two appointments per week. All right. So what happens if your listing appointment is also a buying appointment?
Then it's scored.
Yeah, well, that means that's one less appointment you have to have for the week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go, do you get this worksheet? So we use some good numbers, but you can totally plug in your own numbers into this worksheet. All right. And then eventually you're going to plug those numbers into Command for your goals. And then as you enter your opportunities and you get into your commissions and your commission requests and everything, then Command will keep track of where you're at. They'll tell you where you are, if you're on track, if you're behind, where you are with your money. And we'll keep track of everything for you. So really encourage you to start really getting into working in Command. If you don't have your people in Command yet for your database or pipeline, then that's okay, but you can start putting your contracts into Command, of course. John, I know you've already done it, so that's awesome. And is it simple? Do you think it's simple, John?
Yeah, you just have to make sure you get all the steps done.
Okay.
You know, it took me a while, but I finally figured out all the pieces.
Okay. Very good. All right, so now we're going to go into some discussion questions. And the first one I have for you is does your pipeline support your net income goal? Mm-hmm. And then what steps would you need to take to build your pipeline? So what would you do to build your pipeline? Nobody wants to share? What steps could you do to build your pipeline?
Are you talking in Command?
Anywhere. I mean, just just different ways that you would build your pipeline generally.
Last year we did it by buying leads.
Okay, last year you did it by buying leads. So what are some other ways that you can do that?
Well, right now I'm working on referrals.
Referrals, good job.
This was one idea I had. Works pretty good.
Ah, okay. Are you getting leads from there?
Yeah, I've given them all my clients.
Nice.
Yeah, I just keep in my car.
Very good. A couple of the title companies have dropped hand sanitizer off in bottles too. So that's cool. Anybody else? Any other ideas? Are you running any Facebook posts, or are you getting anything from social media at all? Do you have an interest in
I haven't.
You haven't? You haven't done any? Okay.
I have a realtor page. I don't do that much with it. Facebook people do some posts of various like human interest things on there. One time when I was doing an open house, I posted something on there, but we're not doing those right now. So.
See, as open houses used to be a big thing, and obviously we can't do those. So just looking for alternative means of growing your pipeline. So we already kind of talked about this. So can your listing appointments be both sellers and buyers?
Sometimes they are.
Of course. So how do you target listing appointments so they attract both listers and buyers?
Well, sometimes people are listing and they're also buying after they sell.
And you target your listers to just how do you go about, because I don't know. So how do you go about targeting? Can you target listings so you're also getting a buyer out of the same person party?
Sure. I mean, it comes out pretty soon why they're selling. And many times they are listing to sell and buy something else in town or out of town. And if they're out of town, then I set them up with my CRS referral people and get a referral fee. You know, do that whenever I can.
Right? Anybody else? So does your calendar support your goals? Does your calendar support your goals? And is it in your 411 of what you need to get done for the month, what you need to get done for the week, what you need to get done for the day?
For 26 years, I carry around a spiral notebook. It's by my computer or with me in my car, and I write down daily notes and people I need to talk to and things that have to happen that day, that week, whatever. And I find it's really easy because it's just right across the, around somewhere where I'm working. If I had to look at the computer for everything, it wouldn't be a good plan for me.
Okay. Anybody else? Are you just taking it day by day and flying by the seat of your pants, or do you have definite goals for the month?
Sure, I write them in my notebook, time frames, things need to happen and stuff like that. First thing, that's okay for me.
All right. So, and are you using your time effectively to be purposeful in achieving your goals? Does that make sense?
I think so, but we all have to juggle real estate with many things in life. I was trying to set up something, a courtesy signing this morning, and I have to call back and talk to the title company because my people are out of town, and I need to do that the next couple of days because they need lead time. It's just, and then I'm dealing with a contractor. I have something going on with one of my rentals. It's got to be repaired. Going out there, so we're all juggling things. You just have to be a good time manager.
All right. Anybody else?
Some buyers last night that were working along a time frame with something that's going on with them, and you know, happening all the time.
Okay. Whoops. What did I just do? There we go. So, and then what do you need to do to support your goals? So what are some things that you needed to do to support your goals?
I kind of assess every day what the urgent things are. I have a list of things that needs to happen today or the next couple of days or this week or before the month is out. And, first part of the month, everything stops a little bit. I got to write my bills out. And, we've all got things like that. And you got real estate calls in between. And, juggling things according to priority.
Okay. So are you engaging in any training, or what training do you think you need to engage in? And this I would really like some feedback on, so I can help you with this. So what type of training would you need that I can help you with, or that you can do on your own that I can recommend to you? Um, you know, with our current situation, it's not like we can host trainings in the office. We can do them this way through Zoom or Google, and we can get you some of that training. I can recommend training to you, where to find it, send you links. So what type of trainings do you think you would need to support your goals?
I'm just trying to get a handle on the command. We had some good classes with Corey a few months back, and I thought I had it pretty well, and I had a transaction that I did in there. But then when you're not working with it all the time, you kind of forget. It's like, okay, how do I get into that listing area or that buyer area? I think I got to go into contacts and work my way over there till I get to the documents page. And I just am trying to reacquaint myself because I need more practice. One of the trainers on one of the classes for Command was saying that, if you're trying to practice with Command and let your MCA or whoever's looking at it know, we should have a way to maybe have a practice thing that we're doing. That's kind of a missing piece as far as I'm concerned, because we should be able to get in there and do some kind of thing of practice, so we're not actually doing something that's a real transaction, we're just learning it. So when you learn, you kind of practice, and it's a little hard to practice with Command. That piece we can't really do unless it's a real life.
So, Kathy, I'm hearing some feedback in the background of you, so we can hear you, but it seems to be kind of like you're talking through a tin can. So,
I don't know why. I'm on the back computer, and I tried to get on another computer, and I was having a little bit of an issue this morning.
That's fine. All right. So then the training with Command, there are links to all of that on the daily brief and the newsletter that Brittany sends out all the time. So you can jump in there, and then I know that she also has a bunch of trainings happening too. So we can get you up to speed on Command. And I think once you're in there and you start working on it, it'll be a lot easier than the green sheet process.
Okay.
So are you guys doing any time blocking? Like, I'm going to sit down and from 3 to 5 today, or from 10 to 11 today, and I'm going to make postcards, or I'm going to sit down and do some lead gen. Are you guys doing some specific time blocking like that?
Not real specific. I have postcards. I need to kind of get back to that. I had new ones when I came there. I usually want to send postcards that are real targeted to people that maybe I recently talked to, or I sort of reasons to send them. I don't do the blind mailings that some people like to do.
All right.
Personally.
So, and what are you guys doing for lead gen? How are you getting your leads?
I have something called Live, and I got people that call and find people, and they scrub the leads. And when I get them, they're somewhat prepared, although I can't say they're totally always perfect leads and ready to go. It does take a lot to find people that are. There's always a few good ones in there. So it's something I belong to personally, and I'm a CRS agent, and I have that. I do have to pay for it. I think it's good, and it does help me find people that are serious.
So are you guys making any care calls to your current sphere, and not generating business, but just checking in with them to see how they're doing and if there's anything that they need? Have you been doing that? And I think that's one way, not to drum up business, but for you to be top of mind for them when they do get ready to engage. You may have just sold them a house, you know, within the last year or so, and you're just checking in to see if there's anything that they need. And, you know, a month or so later, you check in on them again. And a year from now, they're going to say, oh, John or Matt or Janae, Kathy, Jamie, one, you know, the realtor who helped me close that transaction was really nice. I'm going to call that person back. They were really thoughtful to call back and check on us during the shutdown. So I'm going to call that person. So just ways for you to stay top of mind with your sphere. So you're the one who they contact and you get those people back. And does anybody do script practice? I know those cold calls are hard to make, but does anybody engage in script practice? And now this one, I really need your help with because I need to know what you need from me to support you in achieving your goals.
I guess we'll know when we get stuck on something. That's how it is for me when something comes up I can't even perceive, and you know, I need some advice or some way to get over a bump in the road or something.
Okay? Because we're definitely here to help you with anything that you need. And then what is one goal that you would like to be held accountable for in the next 2 weeks? And I will check in with you. Hmm?
Hi.
That's one goal. So can I give you a goal? Can I give you a goal? Okay. I would love for you to fill out that economic worksheet with your numbers in it and send it to me. And I will check back with you to see where you're at with that. And we can go over your numbers when we talk next individually. Is that something that you think you could do?
I would think so.
I would think so. Anybody else? So I can check back on you, you know, within a week and I'll see how you're doing on that. And then in 2 weeks, I'll check back to see if it's done. But I would love for you to send that to me when you get it done. So then I know that you've done it. Does that work?
That'll work.
All right. Very good. All right. So I do have a couple of reminders for you guys. There is in our newsletter, the daily brief and the newsletter that goes out weekly. There is a link to we refer to it as the micro region training calendar. And this is the training calendar that includes everything there's a bunch of market centers in Eastern Washington and Oregon, and I think a couple in Idaho, where we've combined forces for training. So we have a bigger pool of training opportunities and people to train. And I really encourage you to get into that calendar and look and see. Well, there's Kathy's picture. There's Kathy in person. All right. Oh, but now we can't hear you. So now you have to hit the microphone button.
I'm clicking the, can you hear me now? On mine, I still see the picture. I'm on a different laptop back here. I was experimenting with some things.
Oh, can
Am I
hear
in
you
there?
much better as well.
Okay, let's see here. I see my picture. Did you say you saw me live?
Yeah, I see you live. We see you live.
Okay,
All right.
I'm
Very
in a
good.
different room on a laptop. Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
So, but that training calendar, if you really, there's something in there, there's training in there, there's 2 or 3 trainings a day, and really encourage you to go in and look at the training calendar. Because like if you're looking for a scripts class, it's a great way to step out of your comfort zone, make some new connections, and John, you mentioned referrals, and they can easily work into a referral network for you. So I know that some script classes, regional, those little micro region script classes are going to be starting up in August. Ignite restarts in August. Bold Pivot. If you didn't take Bold Pivot last month, August is another opportunity, and it's $99. So if you want me to send you the link to Bold Pivot, I can do that. I think you would really enjoy it. And you've probably already heard as well that our paperless and command transition is August 15th is our deadline. So anything new you have up and coming, if you're already in paperless, follow it through in paperless all the way. And then anything new, you get a new listing, you get a new contract. Those just put those into and opportunities. If you need more information on that, you can check the training calendar again. The agent shared drive, there's always a link to that on the daily brief and the newsletter to get into those different trainings and then Brittany's email, that's the newsletter. Reach out if you need help because we're here to help you. There is a great video on Goodbye Green Sheets. I don't know if any of you popped into that training a couple of weeks ago, but that's a half-an-hour video, and she's an MCA that walks you through it. But she also sent attached the step-by-step guide. I printed it off, so I have it at my fingertips. But you're more than welcome to do the same thing, and it's there, and it's a really good way to get if you're just starting out in command and getting your opportunities in there. Might even learn if you're already doing it, you might even learn something new. But please don't be afraid.
So where did you say we could find that? I was trying to get to the class and I had a break.
Oh, if you when the daily brief comes out every day at 5 o'clock, there is a place to go for trainings.
Okay.
I think it's a green box. And I can also send you directly the offers and commissions guide, the paper one, so you can have it as well.
Okay. I'm trying to review that some more.
Awesome. Very good. And then Cammie and Brittany are also putting together some trainings as well and that calendar, those will start next week. So go ahead and be sure to hop into one or more of them to help you get everything so you can get everything into command and your opportunities, and we can start doing those. And August 15th is our transition date. So hopefully you'll be up to speed by then. And even if you're not, heaven forbid you don't have a contract on August 15th to put in there, that training is still going to be there. We just want everybody to start transitioning out of RE paperless and doing everything in command. But as I said, if you already have something in RE paperless and green sheets, follow it through that process so we don't duplicate it and we don't have it in two places. All right. Michael's Marketing Suite expires July 31st. So if you've got business cards you want to buy or flyers you want to make or anything like that, please be sure and have those done by the 30th, have them ordered by the 31st. If you need to lean into the command and designs training, there's trainings all over in there for that. Other people use other things too, so you're not limited to using designs. But I know that it has really, they've really increased its productivity in the last few weeks. So if you've been in there and it didn't do much for you, you might try it again. But there's other ways to get your business cards and so forth done. And really, you can use any way you want. We're just kind of hoping that you'll go and use the designs. And then there's also trainings on designs in the agent share drive for that too. And one of the most important things is we have happy hour tomorrow night at 4:30. So you can hop in on that so we can see everybody's faces. And then the last thing I have is that when the desire to do more, this is a quote from Gary Keller, when the desire to do more comes from a place that's bigger than ourselves, anything is possible. All right? When the desire to do more comes from a place that's bigger than ourselves, anything is possible. All right. So did everybody get your multi-year trend report that I sent you yesterday?
I don't think I did. It was okay, it came in the email.
Yep.
I printed out a command cheat sheet. That was something else. Okay, I'll look for that. Multi-trend.
It's a multi-year trend, and it came directly from me. I sent an attachment.
Multi-year trend.
I am going to stop sharing this screen. And I'm going to share a different screen. I want you to look at your multi-year trends. I don't see I don't see yours, and I don't want to pull up yours each individually and share with everybody. So I'm going to show you.
Oh, I did see that. That's right. I did see that.
Okay.
Okay. I think I
Okay,
printed
so
it off.
we'll just talk about it a little bit. And really what that is for, that is to show you exactly where you are this year versus previous years. And I think all of you, Danae, you went back to you go back to 2018, I think. But everybody else, I think you're just 2019. So you can actually see where you are. If you look at your report, you can see that you have where you were last year for your closed listings, what you did each month, what the volume was, how many units, listing units, how many buying units, what your gross commission dollar is, what your company, the amount that you paid into company dollar. So that report is a wealth of information for you guys. And you can actually reach that yourselves. If I can get here, okay, I'm going to go here. Okay, so here you are. Wait, I got to share my screen. This one here. Okay, so can you see my KW page?
Yes.
Okay, so if you go to where your picture is and you go to reports, and these are some great reports, and I can give you a little bit more information than what you see, because what you're going to see, and it takes a few seconds for it to load up because it's searching all through Keller Williams. And you go to your production lookup. Did I go too fast for you there? And this is where it's searching through all of Keller Williams. So this buffers for a few minutes. It probably may be a minute.
It's in the marquee.
There are some things that are similar. On my report than your report, but does anybody mind if I use yours as an example? Anybody? Can I use you as an example? Pull your report up and use it as an example.
You can use mine.
All right, thank you, Matt. So it'll come up and it'll look like this. When your first page will come up and it'll look like this. So you'll see your multi-year trend and your monthly production summary, your sales transaction detail, and an income summary. So these are really good reports for you to be able to use. But if you click, and this is how I got yours. I went into each one, pulled your name up, and printed out all of your, downloaded all of your multi-year trends. So in Matt's case, he had, so it tells you your appointments. So where this is your gross commission appointments, and it shows that he had 2, but really all this information comes from command. So until you put your information in command, these lines are going to be blank. All right.
Most of it is.
So, and then once you start utilizing command and telling it how many appointments you've had, or you start going in and documenting everything, then these will start populating. Okay. And your closed units is your closed units. That's pretty self-explanatory. And you can look at your total for the year. You can look at where you were month over month for the month of June. Okay. Your closed sales volume, same thing. Compare 2020 to 2019. And then your listings taken, listings volume. So listings sold. So same thing. So it just compares everything from 2020 to previous years in the month. And when you're looking at, where does it say? It compares your percentage. So like where this percentage is 14.8%. Can you see my mouse or no? Do you see my mouse move?
I thought it was there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, now I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. So see where this month over month change is. So this says 14.8% and this says 0. Then what it's doing is it actually is calculating. It doesn't have, this doesn't have anything to compare to the previous year, but it's comparing the 2 years and it's going by month over month. So it's calculating January to June for 2020 and it's calculating January to June for 2019. So, and then your year over year, of course, is your calendar year of January through December. Okay. Your listing sold volume, your buy sales, and this is where you can kind of keep track of for yourself is you have buyer sales and you have listing sales. So you can see where how many units you had. So for this year, Matt has 3, and this year he's got buy sales close 0.33. So he split a listing there. That means he split a listing with other people. Okay. But you had sales and volume. And then your contracts written. So here's where you can compare your contracts written. So Matt's ahead of this year already because last year he had a total of 9 and now he's already at 6. So Matt's basically pretty much ahead of last year. That's awesome.
Doesn't feel like it.
Your average
Right.
sales price. But look at your average sales price. Last year was 297. This year is 345, almost 346. Nice. And then you can see where you did your gross commission income, your company dollar, your 1099 income, how much you're paying to royalty. And then your tracker contacts. So this comes from Kelly. This comes from just various things that you put into command. So this information is only as good as the information that you're putting into command. All right. So I wanted to go over that with you a little bit. Does anybody have any questions? And then that's to get there. I went to reports, and then associate production lookup, and that'll be your production lookup that you get. And I think all of those were on the report. I closed out of it. On the report where it listed the multi-year trend and the income summary, those things will all pop up when you click on associate. It'll be your production. It'll be these things for you. Does that make sense? All right. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? So this week this time we talked about the economic model. So next time we're going to talk about the budget model. So like in a couple of weeks, I am going to hold you accountable to your economic model worksheet to do that, and we'll work on that. And then we'll start working on the budget model. And then after that, we'll work into the lead gen model. But for now, for this month, we'll stick with the economic model and move forward into the budget model. So please go ahead and have your worksheets done in a couple of weeks and send them to me when you get them done. So then when we start meeting individually, then we can talk about your goals. Okay.
Where do we find those, Lori?
The worksheet that I sent you is attached to the calendar invitation that I sent. You should be able to download that
Looks
worksheet.
like this.
Economic model worksheet.
If you go into your calendar invitation, it's attached in there. And I can send you one also.
Yeah, if you could send me one. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right, very good. I can do that. Anybody else questions? All right, then I think we're done for today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'm really sorry about the switch over to Google because I had accidentally scheduled something at the same time Corey had on Zoom, and since we only have one Zoom account, we both can't Zoom at the same time. So, so we were able to make the switch over to Google, and I really appreciate that you were able to make that switch with me. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Enjoy that sunshine, enjoy the heat, and everything that today has to offer. So have a good one, you guys.
Thank you, Lori. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. And recording.